Cows, moo, a cow eats 30 pounds of hay a day. That's probably $5 a day. That's $150 a month. Next time you see a cattle rancher, wave at them and give them your love. Hey, next time you're in a grocery store and you have to pay a bunch of dough for the burger stuff that you're going to buy, the steaks, etc., still give your love to that farmer. Hey, you are more likely to be killed by a cow than a shark. Do you feel a lot wiser now? Coming from your wiser advisor, Maxine Waters. You know, this is a woman that is so far left. I don't know, like Trump, he breaks me up. He says she has a low IQ. I kind of think he's right. She's recently suggested in a church sermon, that she was sent by God to stop Trump. I didn't know God did that kind of stuff, really. She said, well, that's what he did. And you know what, then, if that's the case, Maxine, God sent me to stop you. That'll be my job. I'll get a man on that right away. Hutterites. A lot of you people know what Hutterites are, and a lot of you people don't, particularly in other countries, but Hutterites are a collection of people, I think, that originated from Germany, and they're mostly in Canada, particularly in the West, and they're groups of 150 in a colony, and once they get up to 150 people, then they break off and they go buy more land, and it's kind of an interesting concept. Typically, they all wear black, and the women don't talk much, and they eat in separate rooms, and it's kind of a throwback to another time, and it's a very socialistic kind of concept they have. As individuals, they're nice people. I've met many of them over the course of my long life, don't you know, in the prairies, in Alberta and Saskatchewan and so on. But it's an interesting kind of mix-up that they have. It ain't right. It ain't fair. It's another thing that the government of Canada does to, you know, prejudice against its other people, the main group of people, which should be everyone. Hutterites don't pay taxes individually. It's all effectively slave labor. And the colony kills little towns because they continue to buy up the land everywhere. And when they want to buy new vehicles or tractors, they do everything in bulk. They typically will go to the manufacturer direct and so on. So it's not good for the local community. But again, there's this 150 people, or 100 or whatever those numbers are. They work hard. I give them that. They do great stuff. However, they don't pay taxes. But yet they get a tax return, and because they get a tax return, there's a check going back to the colony every year. They go out and yet buy more land from more people, more Canadian people, and these people are kind of isolated and they speak the German dialect, I think, and so on. So it ain't very nice. It's just another thing that the government needs to look into. Rome, the Pope. He recently has declared the death penalty is not admissible and should get rid of it. Okay, I disagree with him. I mean, if anything, the death penalty should be used just for all of his priests and so on that have done all these terrible things, because to be a pedophile is something you can't be cured. And men are castrated, all kinds of things are done to a pedophile, and they're still pedophiles, right? And it's just a bad thing, and they should, if there was ever poster people for capital punishment, of course it's a pedophile. And so many of them have sanctuary or hide in the Catholic Church. And even the Pope, in my view, I mean, if he didn't do it himself, he knew that it was being done, and he knows who the guilty people are, and they should all be lined up, and what size of neck do you have? Because it's a bad thing. There's nothing worse than to take the innocence of a child away. And here he is talking about the death penalty. And you know, I just disagree with him so much. I just wanted to share with you about the death penalty. In Canada, my numbers won't be quite right now, but I think about 65, possibly as high as 70% of people have always been in favor of the death penalty, and about 80% of politicians are not in favor of it because they're left-wing wackos. So, of course, Canada does not have the death penalty. So I've gone out and conducted my own little poll with people, my mother being one of them, and I'm in favor of the death penalty. She's not in favor of it. And I said, well, Mom, using her as an example, what if you had the death penalty available to you, but you don't have to use it because the government took your right away, because they decide now. If a jury had the right, would that be okay? And she, like everyone else also that I included in the poll, then changed and said, yes, that would be okay, because we have the right to impose a death penalty. And initially, people envisioned that there's a man hanging from every post with a rope around his neck, right? And that's not what it is. It's having the right to impose a death penalty if you want. And it shot up to 95%. And politicians in Canada still don't want it. Get rid of all those darn politicians. Good bloody grief. Dang it all, they shouldn't be around here anyway because they're too dumb to think. Y'all come back tomorrow. Have more for you from the right.